Hello, welcome to Political and Social Perspectives on Education. I'm Terry Huffman, as you likely know, and in this video I just want to give you a little bit of heads up on the nature of the course and what to expect in the next few weeks. As you probably know, many of your colleagues have already taken this class in the spring. In fact, this class is always taught online either in the fall or the spring semesters. So this is the first and to my understanding the only time it will be offered in the summer as a special accommodation. So because of that, one of the things I want to do is try to keep this class as consistent with what we do in the online as possible. So it's listed as a hybrid class, and that is true, but I would say probably 95% of the class will actually be online. In fact, I only have 2 planned meetings, face-to-face meetings for us. We can do more if necessary, but at this point that's all I plan in order to keep it consistent with what we do during the regular semester. So let's talk a little bit about the nature of the course. Now, I'm not going to go through all the syllabus here. You have the syllabus on the Foxtel site, and you can go through and look at the assignments and the structure of the class and scheduling, those kinds of things, where there are a couple of things I want to make you aware of. First of all is I would like for us to meet twice. The first time is the first day of class on July 9th. That will follow obviously the first week, which is totally online, and there's a discussion forum for you for the first week of classes and some posts. And so meeting in that first day gives me a chance to kind of talk and get a little bit about the discussion, and I won't weigh in when you're doing the discussion forum. That's my policy, by the way, is not to really, I like to lay back and not to disrupt the conversation that's going on, but give some sort of summative kind of reaction at the end. And so I will likely do that on Monday the 9th, talk about that first week and what you did. The second time we'll meet is on July, the second week of classes. It's Thursday, and I have to get my date here, pardon me for this. Thersday the 19th for a debriefing session. Now there's a reason why it's the Thursday, not the Friday. Friday is, there's a lot of things going on. People are getting ready to go home. Also, people are kind of tired and those kinds of things. And I thought Thursday would be a better day, more opportune time for us. You might want to have that class day on Friday to prepare to go back to your homes and wrap up some things and whatnot. So we'll meet on Thursday the 19th, and for kind of a debriefing, talk about the last week of classes, which again is totally online. And also, you'll probably, I'll do some of my summative kind of responses to your discussion posts as well at that time. Okay. Now, the class itself, there is a theme to this course that I want to make you aware of. And the theme is social change. But social change writ large. I mean, you know, really sweeping historic social change. And to explore this kind of theoretical notion, we're going to be looking in the first week of class at a framework that has been offered to us by 2 very well-known social thinkers, Alvin and Heidi Toffler, a husband and wife team. The Tofflers are very well known, probably a little lesser known today. They're getting a little older than maybe a few years ago, but they have been consultants to presidential administrations, to congressional leaders, to corporations, been participants, long-term participants in think tanks. They're highly regarded on their notions of social change and its consequences. So what's happening in society and where we're going. Alvin Toffler himself, many years ago, wrote a best-selling book called Future Shock, which I actually read when I was in high school. And he followed that book up with another bestseller called The Third Wave. And since that time, he has teamed up with his wife Heidi and they have also written a number of well-received books that have sold apparently fairly well. Okay, so in the first week we're going to take a look at the Tofflers' work, in which they liken social change to three major social waves which have crashed against the shore of human society. And very, very quickly, the first wave was which hit human society and completely altered, ushered in the age of pre-modern society. Now, according to the Tofflers, these eras of social change, they're kind of linked to technological change. Some technological advancement, innovation kind of helped usher it in. But also what happened was that a prevailing social ethic or social value became dominant during that era. And everything kind of radiated from that prevailing, very highly dominant social value. So in the pre-modern era, the prevailing social ethic or value was traditionalism, keeping things the way they've always been. Change was seen as threatening and dangerous. People lived on the edge of survival, so any kind of change that rattled the social order could be regarded as dangerous to the very survival of the society itself. So change was very slow in coming, but come it did. And the second wave crashed upon human society, and it ushered in the modern age. And the technological innovation that was really part and parcel of that was really things like the steam engine, industrialization, okay, which allowed for the production of mass production of goods, and so human societies began to embrace a social ethic that was very compatible with that technological advancement, and that social value was efficiency and effectiveness. Finding the most effective and efficient way of doing things became the prevailing ethic. So all of human society tended to conform around that social value. So we find that even churches took on highly bureaucratic structures with flow charts and those kinds of things. And of course, businesses and the economy incorporated things like the assembly line. Even schools became factory-like in the way in which they matriculated students through the system and the way in which the bureaucracy worked. Effectiveness and efficiency. But lo and behold, according to the Tofflers, a third wave came crashing upon human society and changed social life forever. And this third wave, which is of course the title of Toffler's best-selling book, The Third Wave, is about the implications of this new era. It brought in the era of postmodernism, postmodern society, or post-industrial society, or the information age, whatever you want to call it. But the technological innovation that helped bring this about, and this is a very new thing in human society, was cybernetics and the computer, and also more broadly, really, information itself. And so now a new ethic has taken hold. And this new ethic, according to the Tofflers, the prevailing social value in postmodern society is self-directed individualism, what's good for the individual. As long as we're not hurting anyone else. That's always the caveat. As long as we're not hurting anyone else, whatever I want to do, whatever is good for me, that's the way things should be. And that's become a very dominant kind of value in postmodern society. So it has all kinds of implications, even in religion. Nietzsche long ago warned about the death of God, or didn't warn about, actually proclaimed the death of God. I guess he wasn't warning about it, he was celebrating the death of God. In postmodernism, we haven't seen the death of God. We've seen the birth of millions and millions of gods, and they're all very private, and they're all very individualistic. Right? A similar thing with education. Now we have options that never have been present. People can craft and kind of create their own educational their own kind of private education that suits their own needs. So we have online education and online universities, and you're going to get graduate degrees and doctorate degrees that kind of suit your purposes and these kinds of things. Postmodernism. Okay, so that will be the first week. We'll explore the Tofflers' ideas. In the second and third weeks, we'll be exploring a couple of books. Both of them have been very well received, not without their critics, however. The first is a book by George Ritzer. This will be the second week of our class. We'll take a look at his best-selling book, The McDonaldization of Society. It's been around for a very, very long time, and I have a backstory about Ritzer and the McDonaldization of Society. Maybe I'll share with you at our face-to-face. But anyway, Ritzer's book, the essential thing here is that for all the talk about postmodernism and the information age and everything, that may be, but we're really still following the ethics of the modern age, according to Ritzer. We're still following effectiveness and efficiency as the prevailing value. And it can be found in, he uses McDonald's as the metaphor. It's the epitome of effectiveness and efficiency. But that this process, which he refers to as McDonaldization, but really it's effectiveness and efficiency, has found its way into almost all aspects of human society. Now, he may overstate his case, and you may get a little frustrated with Ritzer. You'll certainly find him entertaining. Okay, I can guarantee you that. You'll find him entertaining, if nothing else, even if you disagree with him. And maybe he overstates his case, maybe he doesn't. We'll talk about it. That's his case. He does have a case to make. In the third week, we'll take a look at a writer that I'm sure you're quite familiar with. She's very well known in educational studies. Diana Ravitch has written a book called The Death and Life of the Great American School System. Now, it's getting a little old now, admittedly, but it still has a lot of utility to it for us in how we look at social change and specifically what's happening with American education. Ravitch, as you may know, was one of the architectures of the policy of No Child Left Behind, and she in time became one of its most severe critics. Okay, and so in this book she really examines very critically the policy of No Child Left Behind and takes it to task, which to say the least. Okay, but what she's doing, and let's kind of keep our eye on the ball here, even though the book's a little old. What she is doing is basically making an argument that is pretty consistent with what Ritzer is saying, and that is that this ethic of efficiency and effectiveness has found its way in a powerful way in American educational policy, with accountability and standardization. What else is that? And look at the consequences of it, what happened. You may disagree, you may agree. Those are your opinions, and they will be respected. You're not going to be graded on your opinion in this class, but the logic and consistency and the thoroughness of your responses. In the last week of class, very quickly, you'll be doing two what I call guided book reviews. I call them guided book reviews because there's a set of questions. I tried not to overwhelm you too much because I know you have a limited amount of time. But these are a set of questions on both the Ritzer book and the Ravitch book, and you will be responding to those questions. Now, they're designed such that you don't just recite material, but you have to engage the material and think about it and offer some analysis and critical thinking. And that will conclude our class. So that last week, which is totally online, there will be no discussion forums, there will be no posts for you to deal with. Just concentrate on completing those book reviews, and on Monday the 9th I will have some more to say about some advice about how to approach that last assignment. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you very, very soon, and again, welcome to the course.